If you're watching this video, you probably have some questions about teacher leadership. Perhaps you're hoping that you can find a way to keep teachers from leaving a profession that has become a leaky bucket, where 50% of teachers are leaving the field every 5 years. And maybe you hope that teacher leadership can offer a way for teachers to grow professionally and take on new challenges while remaining in the classroom. Maybe you're an administrator who is also struggling with the increasing demands and complexity that contribute to job-related stress among school principals. I'm Linda Mayger from the College of New Jersey, and I just completed a study of teacher leadership with my colleague Megan Hauser and almost 1,000 teachers in New Jersey. This study was funded by the New Jersey Department of Education. We were interested in teacher leadership because we wondered whether giving teachers more autonomy and opportunity would make them more likely to remain in the classroom and result in better outcomes for students. After we conducted interviews, site visits, and deployed a large-scale survey, we learned a few things about teacher leadership and how to make it happen. This video outlines some of what we learned. First, the main benefit of teacher leadership is how it contributes to a culture of professionalism in a school. Teachers who lead may grow in confidence and develop a greater sense of purpose. They positively influence other teachers in their schools by encouraging professional growth, changing instructional practices, and focusing on school improvement. One of the key ways principals influence student achievement is indirectly, by strengthening the professional community in their schools. Lewis and colleagues defined a professional community as a special environment within which teachers work together to improve their practice and improve student learning. They determined that professional community was statistically related to the use of instructional practices associated with academic success. Researchers have also associated collective school cultures with teacher autonomy, belonging, and job satisfaction. The second thing we learned is that there are a lot of ways for teachers to engage in leadership, and many teachers who are leading in their schools don't see themselves as teacher leaders. We found no significant differences in the extent to which teachers of different genders, races, years of experience, or school levels believe themselves to be teacher leaders or engaged in teacher leadership activities. Simply anyone can be a teacher leader. For more information on the many ways teachers can lead, we encourage you to check out the Teacher Leader Model Standards. These standards were created in 2011 by a group of educators, researchers, and policymakers across the United States, known as the Teacher Leader Exploratory Consortium. The standards outline the many ways teachers can make a difference in their schools beyond their classrooms. These ways include the development of a collaborative school culture, using research to improve student learning, promoting professional learning, facilitating instructional improvement, using assessments and data to improve the school, engaging families and communities, and advocating for student learning and the profession. We dig into each of these areas more in our companion video targeted to teachers. The third thing we learned involves 6 ways that school leaders can promote teacher leadership in their schools. The rest of this video focuses on the 6 areas of recognition, training, impact, time, money, and opportunity. One of the simplest ways to promote teacher leadership is by recognizing and appreciating teachers when they engage beyond their defined job duties and classrooms. Teacher leaders often explain to us the importance of simply being noticed, either by their principals recommending opportunities for them to lead, or by showing teachers that their efforts are valued. Although the teachers we talked to wanted recognition, only 35% of teacher leaders we surveyed believed they were almost always or often recognized and appreciated for their contributions. When teachers feel unappreciated or have negative experiences involving supervisors and administrators who micromanage them, show favoritism, or disregard teachers' ideas, those teachers are less motivated to engage in leadership. Our findings indicated that teachers who identified as teacher leaders were no more likely to have had formal leadership training than other teachers. And about 1/3 of the teachers we interviewed and surveyed had taken graduate courses in educational leadership. As a result, we cannot say that training is necessary for teacher leadership. But we did determine that individual teachers found it valuable in helping them think about teaching in a different way and considering how the school functions as a whole. The teachers we spoke to were strongly motivated by opportunities to make a difference for students. 2/3 of the self-identified teacher leaders we surveyed believed they often or almost always made a tangible contribution to their schools. From the opposite perspective, published articles on teacher leadership suggest that the absence of impact and change resistance among colleagues may inhibit teachers' motivations to lead. The dampening effects of negative colleagues was a common theme among teachers we interviewed. Chronic complaining lessened some participants' beliefs that their engagement in teacher leadership was worthwhile and could make a tangible difference in their schools. In our study, providing teachers with extra time and additional pay were the strongest variables associated with teachers identifying as teacher leaders. But teachers said that their schools and districts far more often encouraged them to lead than provided them the time to do so. Our teacher interviewees claimed to spend between 30 minutes and 2 hours per day practicing formal and informal teacher leadership. Despite the time demands on teachers, only 13% of our surveyed teachers said their school almost always or often provides extra time, such as prep periods, for teacher leadership responsibilities. Teachers who take on leadership responsibilities may be giving up their lunch periods or shifting teaching work onto their personal time in order to fit everything in. Administrators who want to foster teacher leadership should consider how to incorporate leadership activities into teacher schedules. One way a school district in our study reduced the time burden on teachers who engaged in district leadership was by scheduling district committees during the collectively bargained time slot for school staff meetings, which reduced the number of meetings teacher leaders had to attend. Another participating school district used Title I funds to create instructional coach positions, where teacher leaders were released from their classroom part of the day to support their colleagues. Financial considerations are often related to time, as teachers described having to take on outside jobs to make ends meet. It is common practice among most schools to provide financial stipends for coaching and leading extracurricular clubs. In some schools, teachers are offered formal paid positions, such as dean of students or department head. One district granted extra pay to one teacher in each elementary school to fill in as a formal administrative intern who provided administrative support when the principal was out of the building. This role was an opportunity for teacher leadership, as well as a way to supplement administrative teams where an assistant principal was not present. Districts that make it easy for teachers to assume leadership create enticing opportunities for leadership. According to a literature review by York, Barr, and Duke, most teachers are drawn to roles that focus on teaching and learning instead of administrative duties. These observations are supported by how frequently we found teachers involved in leading professional learning with their colleagues, which was one of the most popular leadership activities among the teachers we surveyed. Another promising practice is site-based leadership, such as teacher presence on leadership teams and committees. A school district in our study created opportunities for teacher leadership by allowing any interested teacher to sit alongside building administrators on district professional learning communities for district-wide goals, such as the implementation of restorative disciplinary practices. The teachers in these district goals groups were offered training and information about the topic at hand. They acted as representatives of their colleagues to the district and champions for the district initiatives in their schools. Some districts promote teacher leadership by creating formal teacher leader roles. The teachers in our study reported engaging in a wide variety of roles, paid or unpaid, at the grade level or subject area level, such as mentor teacher, team leader, department head, instructional coach, subject area specialist, curriculum developer, class advisor, or athletic coach. At the school or district level, teacher roles included union leadership, service on committees, professional development, joining various teams focused on leadership, data or student success, or being a program coordinator. Teachers may also take on roles that focus on specific areas that affect the entire school, such as grants, equity, family outreach, or dean of students. Considering the wide variety of formal roles, most schools can and do offer many leadership options for teachers. We have one area of caution for districts that are considering creating formal paid teacher leader positions. In our interviews, we noticed that when teachers thought teacher leadership was a job with defined responsibilities that were someone else's, it seemed to negatively influence their views of themselves as leaders. As a result, our findings suggest that formal roles that provide extra pay or time for teachers to take on responsibilities is a beneficial practice, but we recommend doing it in a way that presents the school as a professional learning community with many paths to leadership. Specifically, we advise administrators to refrain from labeling paid positions as teacher leaders and instead use titles that reflect the particular type of leadership enacted in the position, such as instructional coach. As we wrap up, we want to return to the feature of teacher leadership that makes it most powerful, which is how the associated practices create a culture of professionalism in the school. Developing a school where all teachers can find a way to contribute beyond their classrooms changes the dynamic from a focus on leaders as individuals who fill positions to leadership as a group characteristic that is dynamic, with all teachers enacting leadership when they have the capacity to, and their individual assets are a good fit for what is needed. Our study leads us to conclude that we should pay less attention to whether someone is a teacher leader and more attention to the conditions that enable all leaders to engage in leadership practices they find valuable and rewarding. The most influential way administrators can promote teacher leadership is to develop cultures of professionalism in their schools where teachers feel listened to, they have opportunities to engage in site-based decision-making, and their expertise in teaching and learning is valued. If you are interested in learning more about our study on teacher leadership, you may want to read the article that digs deeper into what we learned. In closing, when schools empower all teachers to step into leadership roles, we cultivate a collaborative environment where innovation and growth flourish, benefiting both educators and students alike.